In 2025, the United States makes a bold move, not in the Middle East, not in Asia, but in the Arctic. An island seemingly forgotten by history is now the most coveted piece of land on Earth. Greenland, imagine a president standing tall, declaring, "We're going to do this either the nice way or the difficult way." This is no ordinary negotiation. This is an ultimatum, a declaration of power that shakes the foundations of international relations. Why is Greenland so valuable? What does it mean for the future of global politics? The answer is simple. Control Greenland and you control the future. But to understand why this island holds such power, we must first understand the forces driving this confrontation. The stakes are high and the world is about to change. Greenland, an island of vast beauty, is now at the center of a geopolitical storm. For centuries, it sat in relative isolation, its importance overshadowed by larger global conflicts. But all of that changed. This isn't just about geography. Greenland holds the key to the future of military and economic power. Beneath its icy surface lies a treasure chest of resources, oil, gas, and critical minerals essential for the technology and weaponry of tomorrow. But there's more. It's not just the resources that make Greenland vital, it's the strategic positioning. Nestled between the United States, Europe, and Russia, Greenland offers the perfect vantage point in the ongoing battle for global dominance. To fully understand what's at stake, we need to look back to the history, the decisions, and the systems that have shaped this crisis. For centuries, Greenland was merely a footnote in global power struggles. Its vast ice sheets and remote location made it seem irrelevant. But as the world changed, so did the value of this frozen land. The Cold War marked the first significant shift. Greenland's location became critical in the fight between the Soviet Union and the West. The US established a key military base there, turning Greenland into a strategic asset. Fast forward to today, and the island's importance is even more pronounced. The world has entered a new age of global competition, an age where resources, technology, and military power are interconnected. The Arctic, once a cold frontier, is now a battleground where nations vie for dominance. The decisions made here will shape the next century of international relations. Now that we know the history, the stage is set. But something has changed. A new crisis is emerging, one that could tip the balance of power. A sudden and shocking move sends shockwaves through the world. The United States, once a supporter of diplomacy and international norms, has thrown down the gauntlet. Greenland is no longer a matter of negotiation, it's a matter of force. The US president has made it clear. Greenland, the nice way or the difficult way, a bold declaration backed by military threats and economic pressure. For the first time in modern history, a NATO ally is faced with an ultimatum from the United States: give up Greenland or face the consequences. The world watches in disbelief. A region once thought of as an afterthought is now the epicenter of a geopolitical earthquake. This is more than just an acquisition. It's a statement, a declaration that the rules of the game have changed. But behind this crisis lies a deeper, more insidious mechanism. The true driving force behind the US move is not just territorial greed, but something far more strategic. Beneath the surface of this aggressive territorial grab lies a carefully calculated strategy. The United States isn't just after Greenland for its land, it's after something far more valuable: control of critical resources that fuel the future of warfare and technology. Greenland's ice conceals an economic treasure trove, oil, gas, and vital minerals that the world can't do without. But the most significant prize is its rare earth minerals, the backbone of everything from advanced weapons to the smartphones we carry in our pockets. In a world where China controls a vast majority of the supply, the US sees Greenland as the key to breaking that monopoly and securing its technological future. This is not just a fight for land. This is a resource war in disguise, where the United States is determined to secure the minerals needed to maintain its dominance in the global arms race and technology race. But as the world shifts, so too does the intensity of this conflict. Another crisis is brewing, one that escalates the stakes even further. As tensions rise, the stakes are pushed even higher. Greenland is no longer just a territorial dispute, it's a military standoff. The US is not alone in its interest. Russia and China have both set their sights on the Arctic, making this conflict not just regional but global. For decades, Russia has been fortifying its position in the Arctic, building a military presence that rivals the US in power. The Kola Peninsula, home to Russia's most formidable nuclear submarines, is just a stone's throw away from Greenland. Without control of the island, the US faces a direct threat. Russian submarines could easily slip undetected into the North Atlantic, making the US East Coast vulnerable to a surprise nuclear strike. With this in mind, the US realizes that Greenland is not just a geopolitical necessity, it's a military imperative. The GIU Key Gap, the critical naval choke point between Greenland, Iceland, and the UK, is the key to securing the North Atlantic and maintaining strategic control over the region. Now, the world isn't just watching from the sidelines. The impact on the everyday lives of people is beginning to take shape, and the consequences are far-reaching. For the people of Greenland, this is no longer just a political or military issue, it's personal. The 57,000 residents of this island are caught in a storm they never asked for, their future hanging in the balance. Greenland's government has firmly rejected the idea of becoming a US territory. The people don't want to be American, they want to be Greenlandic. Their call for independence has grown louder, but with one caveat: they are financially dependent on Denmark. This vulnerability is the leverage the US hopes to exploit. The people of Greenland face a grim reality. They are a small nation in the midst of an enormous power struggle, their lives determined by decisions made thousands of miles away. Will they be forced to accept their fate, or will they stand their ground? As the stakes grow higher, this issue is no longer just a regional conflict, it's becoming a global flashpoint. The pressure is mounting, and the world is watching as the international community reacts. The Greenland crisis is not just a confrontation between the US and Denmark, it's shaking the foundations of global alliances. NATO, once a symbol of unity, is now a divided house. European nations are scrambling to respond, caught between their allegiance to the US and their desire to maintain their sovereignty. The US has made it clear Greenland's control is non-negotiable. But Europe, particularly France, Germany, and Norway, isn't backing down without a fight. These nations have deployed forces to Greenland, ostensibly to defend it, but in reality to stake their own claim in this high-stakes standoff. This is more than just a territorial dispute. It's a diplomatic crisis that could fracture alliances, redraw borders, and shift the balance of global power. And as the world holds its breath, one question remains: how far will the US go to secure its strategic prize? With the global order in flux, the future of Greenland hangs in the balance. What comes next? Let's explore the possible futures that lie ahead. As the Greenland crisis deepens, three potential futures emerge. Each one carries a different path for the island, its people, and the world. The best-case scenario: a diplomatic solution is reached. Through intense negotiations, the US and Denmark come to an agreement that satisfies both sides. Greenland maintains its autonomy, but with US military presence and strategic influence. The global community, particularly NATO, breathes a collective sigh of relief. The Arctic remains stable and tensions ease. The middle ground, Greenland, becomes a US protectorate. Denmark retains nominal sovereignty, but the US exercises full military control over the island. This scenario avoids war, but forces Europe to swallow a bitter pill. NATO is fractured, and Europe faces increased pressure to align with American interests. The Arctic becomes a geopolitical chessboard where control is measured in influence, not ownership. The worst-case scenario: a military conflict erupts. The US escalates its tactics, and the world is plunged into a new Cold War. Greenland becomes a flashpoint, with Russia and China increasing their military presence in the region. NATO's unity shatters as allies are forced to choose sides. The Arctic becomes the battleground of the future, and the geopolitical landscape is forever changed. As these futures unfold, one thing becomes clear: the stakes are higher than ever. The world is on the brink of a new reality, and the ultimate consequences are yet to be seen. The Greenland crisis has proven one undeniable truth: alliances are no longer sacred, and the world has entered an era where power and influence are the ultimate currencies. The strategic importance of this small island has exposed the fragility of global relations. The United States, once the leader of a united world, now stands as a nation willing to tear apart the very alliances it built to secure its future. Greenland is no longer just an island, it is a symbol of how far countries will go to ensure their dominance. What's next? The outcome of this crisis will define the course of geopolitics for decades to come. The Arctic, once a pristine frontier, is now a militarized zone where the true nature of global power struggles will play out. The rules have changed, and the world will never be the same. The question remains: will Greenland's fate be decided by diplomacy, force, or something in between? The clock is ticking, and the answer will reshape the future of us all.